Over 4 million people live in Hong Kong. It's a Chinese city, but for 150 years it's been a British Crown colony. It's also one of the great commercial cities of the world, attracting thousands of tourists and businessmen who come for its low-priced goods. Hong Kong is divided between an island and a peninsula of the mainland. In the huge harbor in between, the commerce of the city comes and goes in ships of every description. The harbor is also the home of many people who make their living on the water. Some fish, others run water taxis, others sell household items from the decks of their sampans. Augué and his family live by fishing. Augué is 14, and he and his brothers and sisters grew up out here in a part of Hong Kong called the New Territories. The New Territories are a fair distance from the city center and a lot more peaceful. The Lai family shares a small floating dock with several of their neighbors. At the dock, they have a small fish farm. The fish live in pens under the dock. Every day they have to be fed. It used to be that the Lais had to go far out to sea to catch the fish they sold in the market. Sometimes their luck was bad, and they came back with nothing. They still go fishing, but the fish farm means they can supplement their catch with their own hand-fed fish. Still, nothing is easy. The fish under the dock can be hurt by disease, or their pens can be broken by storms. It takes 2 years of careful tending before they're ready for the market. Augué's mother also grew up on the water. She handles the family's sampan with a smoothness that comes from long practice. She's raised 5 children on her boat and little section of dock. One of the best ways to see the waterfront is from the decks of a speeding water taxi. Today, Augué and his sister and brother are taking the taxi into the market at Castle Peak. They're going to do some shopping for the evening meal. Some of the ships around them are very old, but many of the new ones are based on ancient designs. The harbor has dozens of channels which seem to go on forever. A newcomer would be lost in no time. These big ships are seagoing fishing boats from the People's Republic of China. They stay out on the South China Sea for long periods of time, then moor in Castle Peak to make repairs and pick up supplies. They get to market at last, where they're met by a cousin who's going to help them with the shopping. The market is busier than usual right now because it's almost Chinese New Year, the biggest celebration in the year. Hong Kong is so crowded that there's not a lot of room left for the growing of crops. Every field and garden has to be used efficiently. Many foods are imported. The prices are marked, but there's always room for some bargaining before the food is weighed and paid for. This is the fish market where Augé's father brings his fish to sell. Of course, fish is the one thing Augé rarely has to buy. There's usually plenty at home. Augé and his sister and brother go to boarding school while their parents are out at sea. They often come home on weekends, and always for holidays like New Year's. What their future holds is uncertain. The two oldest girls in the family already live and work in the city. Perhaps Augé will take over his father's fishing business one day. The collection of docks and boats where Augé and his family live is really a little village within the harbor. Most of their friends and relatives live here. The fish are getting their late afternoon feed. But they aren't the only hungry ones. Everyone helps with supper. There's vegetables to be washed, rice to be made, and fish to clean. Mother turns her tiny stove on and gets out her steep-sided frying pan or wok. It's a nice evening, so the family will eat outdoors on the dock. Chinese cuisine is among the most famous in the world. The vegetables in the wok must be stirred constantly. This cooks them lightly, keeping them crisp and tasty. The sampan is an adjustable home. It can be closed down snug when the rains come or when the nights are cold, or it can be left open to the air. Augé doesn't know what he'll do when he's older. Should he go to trade school or go on with an academic career? Should he think of fishing or try to get a job in the city? Everything Augé and his family need is tucked away in the sampan. Under the floor, there's bedding. It will be spread out on the deck when it's time to sleep. are electric lights on the sampan, run from a small generator, and even a TV. Tonight, the program's an American one, dubbed into Chinese. The Lai's way of life on the boats is slowly disappearing. The big fishing boats are driving the small operators out of business. And as the city grows more crowded, there are fewer jobs on shore. Many people are leaving to join relatives in North America. But tonight, all these problems seem far away. It's good to be back on the sampan for a few days. Agay will lie on the deck, listening to the lap of water and the distant rumble of the city as it goes to sleep.